All right, let's finish up our last few text messages here. Make sure our emails are good to go. I'll give you guys a minute. Make sure we're good there. All right.
Yeah.
All right, back home. Feel free to get ready. All right, do me a favor. If you guys should turn your webcams on so I can see you. Otherwise, it's just a black box on the screen. Who do we got here? Awesome. Lubbock, Texas, in the house. Wilson, Cairo, good to see you guys. Awesome. Perfect. And Andres, I don't know if there's a way that I can see usually I can see the names on their little tags. On this screen, I'm not sure if it shows. All right, perfect. Thanks for joining. Dr. T in the house, 7th Division. I'd love to have you back. They're having a great session next door, my man. Awesome. Hey, guys, good. Cynthia, feel free to turn your webcam on. Dr. Rob, awesome. Dr. Holton, Stephanie, Full Circle Chiropractic. Love to have you guys on the Zoom here. Coastal Integrated, feel free to turn your webcam on. Hey. Awesome. Perfect. All right, Jessica's in the house. Coastal Integrated is here. Edgewater has arrived. What's up, Jessica? Sorry. What's up, Jessica?
We also have our newest front desk, Rachel, here with us today.
Rachel's here. Awesome. Hey, Rachel. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Adrian, good to have you here. Hey, awesome. Perfect. Hey, Full Circle, go ahead and turn your webcam on so we can see you. Hey, Amy, go and get back on board. Amber, Kelly. I can't see you guys. Love to have you. Dr. Rob, what's going on? Awesome, guys. Okay, so just to recap, for those that didn't write it down this morning, we do have all of these slide decks available for you and ready to go. Just in the bottom, bit.ly/June workshop 23. So I saw some of you guys snapping photos earlier, some certain slides. They're all in that link. You can just go to that link for review later. No need to take pictures. You just find all those links to all these slide decks. We're giving it all away to you guys. You have full access to everything. The Business Academy, right? We talked about this morning, right? Gives, givers gain philosophy. That's how we think. That's our philosophy here. Condition for exchange in abundance. So all of that is available for you guys. All right. So what I want to do right now before we start, I would like you guys to take a look at your notes just to make sure we're recapping. You've been machine gunning a lot of different tools and systems to implement into the practice. I'd like you guys to take your notes so far this morning. I want you to pop over to an office that you just met today. And I want you guys to do the following few things. I want you to review, obviously introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself. And I want you to share, based on what you learned, what is top priority for implementation right away, like number 1, number 2. Next, I want you to look at what are things that are secondary. We'll get to it later, meaning down the line. And then thirdly, what's the back burner stuff? Good ideas, but they're not going to occupy your time right now. I want you to take a look at your notes, share them with somebody else that you from a different office that you met this morning. Number 1, what goes in place right away? It has to be max 1 or 2 things most. 2, what's secondary? 3, what's a good idea, but back burner for later? I'll let you give you guys 5 minutes for that back at home and here in the room. Let's go ahead and all stand up and introduce ourselves, an office we met this morning, and share out of your notes the following 3 categories. Go ahead and stand up, guys. We'll go ahead and get rolling, mingle it up. I'll give you guys 5 minutes. All right. Great job.
Yeah, and you can see like where like it was yeah.
And when you're at an event, and the thank you, and the patient does her scan, you go, "Oh my gosh, you're lit up like a Christmas tree." The patients always laugh, and you tell them what that means, and then boom, you schedule them to come into the office.
You saw every single person was like, "Oh my gosh, ha ha ha." But then they were like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, exactly. Awesome, guys. Great job. So again, the goal here is to drive in as many morning patients as possible and then get them excited about cash services. I think there's some good implementables you guys brainstormed this morning and can train back to your staff as well. Now that they're here and they're patients, the main goal is that we have good systems at the front desk and also table side with the doctor. I'll mention a few things too, to keep them on their care program. That's the key thing, right? Get them all the way through to graduation, where they get through all, if it's a corrective care phys med program or functional correctional program or corrective, 3 phases of care, acute, functional correction into wellness. That's going to be our goal across the board here. So I'm going to re-engage us here. So far this morning, what we've covered, right? The marketing segment was generating more awareness, creating higher levels of engagement, right, with the community, getting names and numbers. So we're getting the leads and then converting them in for a day one. Those first 4 steps were everything from our first segment: awareness, engagement, subscribe to convert. After that, we covered some day 1 and day 2 protocols to get them excited about saying yes to care. This is the whole map, right? They go through. Now we are onto this. We're on the purple section on ascend. Now they're ascending through the journey. And everything you do at the front desk or your office manager or your front desk does, these are going to be protocols and systems that are, if done consistently, made a habit of, will move more and more people through this step with less fall off the ascending step. Now, if any one of us were to go to Mount Everest, right? I was just watching a documentary called 14 Peaks. This such a good one, right? Oh man. Not everybody makes it up those 8,000 foot or 8,000 meter peaks, right? Those are crazy, right? That's going to be the journey for your patient, right? They're going up to a large summit. You got someone on Zoom there?
It's a podcast.
Oh, it was listening. I heard you say 14 peaks and just started playing. Sounds all right for Melissa. That's surprising. Yeah. Right. But your patients are going to fall off. Their patients will, just like anybody climbing a mountain, right, or going up to the summit, they're going to fall off. They're going to stop. They're going to quit. They're going to get too exhausted. Attrition will kick in when they go through the 3 phases of care. And guess, and I want to hear a resounding response, guess who is in charge of being their accountability partner and coach to get them all the way through to the end? Front desk. There we go. Good. So it's a doctor's job as well, but it can't just be the doctor. It's the front desk holds a lot of responsibility to create and get them to the graduation, create them into advocates and to promote them. So whether you're a practicing owner, office manager, front desk, CA, no matter what your role is here in the room or on Zoom, these are either systems you need to be managing and training your team to follow, or you yourself need to fine tune and see how we can be a 10 out of 10 with each one of these protocols. And hopefully, as I move through some of these protocols, it'll spur up some ideas of best practices of what you guys do as well that I don't cover here too. All right, so here's another simple flow chart for you guys. Real basic. Obviously, day 1 and day 2 we covered already. The ruin is established and the health goals have been created for the patients. All right, we took them through hope on the awareness scale. We've gone through education, types of care pamphlet. Who here has that types of care pamphlet from Backtalk being utilized in their office on day 2? One, Atlas? No, types of care pamphlet? We gotta fit. Anybody else? Types of care pamphlet? And y'all are wondering, how do I fix my patients from dropping off care? Guys, finish this for me. The way you start them is the way you keep them. One more time. The way you start them is the way you keep them. Guys, you have to start them with the end in mind. That types of care pamphlet, who here does the braces analogy? Mm-hmm. Types of care pamphlet. What's the purpose of that braces analogy?
To show them that you've got the braces at the beginning of the correct phase, and then you need to wear the retainer afterwards to keep it.
And is that done when they're on care or when they're on day 2 before they even start? Why are you framing that with the new patient before they even say yes? Why are you framing what this program is going to look like?
Just to give them that perspective of what's the full protocol, so that when they get to the end of their first corrective protocol, we're not done. Once we get you out of symptoms, we're not done with the process. That's just getting you out of pain. But if we really want to fix the problem that got you here in the first place, we've got to go through pain, through correction, and then on to maintenance.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. You use those types of care pamphlet? WTF, guys, these are report of findings graduates.
Have posters, but we don't.
But we are using the poster. Okay, good. We got that going. Good. Okay, you guys are using it, right?
Yeah.
Day 2?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Here, I'm looking at everybody else too. I'm like, look at my girl. Day 2, poster or pamphlet, excuse me. Types of care. Braces analogy.
Yeah.
Types of care. Braces analogy.
Okay. Types of care. Is that the day 1, day 2 where they show the spinal decompression on a date, like that welcome pamphlet that they read? Is that what the...
Excellent question. I'll clarify for everybody here, just so we're on the same page. Day 1, we should be going through a symptoms pamphlet. And if you're a chiropractic subluxation-based practice, subluxation degeneration, gives them an overview of what you treat in the office. If you're not a chiro office, you could be using the typical treatment cycle and then going through different joint education pamphlets as well. For day 2, we always want to make sure to go over the phases of healing pamphlet that Gary has, or the types of care pamphlet, which shows basically the same thing. It shows a color bar on the bottom showing acute, showing acute on the bottom, like acute, the initial phases of care, and then functional and corrective. And then while it's like color bar is key, then we use the braces analogy in day 2, right? You have to frame it ahead of time for them, right? So what's the braces analogy? Would you care to volunteer? Braces analogy?
So, you know with the braces that you have to put them on and you keep them on and it corrects the teeth. But what do you have to do when you're done?
For a retainer?
That's it. Because you got to do a retainer or it's going to go backwards.
Yeah.
This works the same way.
And what works the same way?
That our care plan, because we do corrective to fix everything, get you back to where you're going, and then be your goal to keep it there and do retention and do a retainer.
Give the man a round of applause. Thank you, sir. Appreciate Dr. Chris. Excellent. Good. And if you guys want to practice it, it's pretty simple, right? Again, if you're doing day 2s, really important. So did you ever have to wear braces when you grew up, Emily? You did? How long did you have to wear them for? 8 years, right? I'm going to put that mic there again. No, and Maria, you want to pass the mic over?
Yeah.
8 years. Wow. And once you got them, but once they were off, your teeth were straight, right? And then after 8 years, I hope so, right?
Yeah.
Teeth look great, by the way.
Thank you.
And then,
Better.
yeah, they better. All that. Now, but that wasn't the end of the journey, right?
No.
You had to wear what after that?
Retainer.
Retainer. What was that for?
How long?
And what was that for?
Oh, to keep everything in place.
Keep everything in place, right?
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, what would happen?
It would go backwards.
Right. Now, chiropractic is so different.
Right.
Right. We want to make sure to get you out of pain. Back to the issue, which is why you're here. And then just like a retainer, we have many of our patients choose to continue on care to sustain those corrections and to live a lifestyle of wellness. Cool. Awesome. Good. Excellent. Great. So I want you guys to think with those. We're listening for your one-liner, right? Key parts of day 1, day 2, braces analogy. It says next time we do a front desk rockstar training, I got to have every hand raising up. You guys use that pamphlet because that's how you start them, right? So the bumper sticker is the way you start them is the way you keep them. So if we're just talking about pain, right, OPQRST, and we're just talking about relieving, getting them pain-free and getting them feeling better in the day 1 and day 2, then once they're feeling better, what are they naturally going to do? Drive off care, right? I mean, it would make sense. You would too, right? But if we really frame the conversations early on here in day 2, types of care pamphlet, braces analogies, framing of the program, then it will set them up for success long-term in this retention process. Now, what's the importance of MAS, multiple appointment scheduling in the beginning? I know most of you guys, if not all of you guys do this, but what is the value? Let's go ahead and pass that mic there, Maria, if you don't mind. You can toss it. There we go. Good. What is the value of doing multiple appointment scheduling, meaning you're scheduling them to their first re-exam or for their entire program right when they're starting care at the end of the day 2?
It takes away the excuse of like week by week of like them saying like, oh, it's a hassle. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. It just makes it easy and like gives them something like a goal and like they're committed now for their whole treatment plan or care plan. So it kind of takes away the like, if like, oh, I'm in a rush, I'll call and blah, blah, blah. You're like, nope, you're already scheduled. You're good. You're taken care of. It just is like an extra ease. So they don't have any other excuse to drop off.
Beautiful. Excellent. Now, I know most of you guys do this already, but I know a lot of you guys are going to be training other staff for new locations in the coming months and futures because you guys are clinic owners, regional managers, office managers for future clinics. So you're training this stuff to your team, right? Super important, all the basics. Now, days 3 through 11, obviously, docs, you're doing day-by-day table talk, right? You can talk about the Dolphins draft pick and you can talk about the weather and the kids. It's all great. But Chris, what should, if you have 30 seconds while you're addressing a patient, what's an important anecdote to probably share with them or to maintain retention, excuse me. Give me an example of something you might say to a patient that might just be just visit by visit. You're just kind of titrating some chiropractic knowledge, keep them going on and understand the process around.
It's when they're mentioning like you're trying to get a referral or something like that, or trying to get a review, anything like that. You've already talked to them and they've said we're getting better. because it's within the protocol there to get that. But on that day, you say, yeah, you remember where you were. You were right here, and that was 3 weeks ago. And you're already there. Who do you know that has the same, whatever the issue is, and do that? And it's just like you go backtrack and just like the read back.
Yep.
In various ways across the first 12 days, especially to keep them on the really intensive care and then continue that after.
Beautiful. I love it. Good. Thank you, sir. I'm going to pass the mic back to Melissa there. Next point, Melissa. All right. I know this is, again, this is basics on the front desk, but MUD, what is a MUD? What is an MUD?
It's a missed appointment that we need to reschedule.
Reschedule or get
Scheduled.
Yep. So if I miss Wednesday, but I'm already scheduled for Friday, you call me and I'm like, yeah, I'll be there Friday. I'm rescheduled for Friday.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you in before then. We're gonna get you in. You know,
No, I'm testing.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you. Good.
a makeup day. Yeah.
Yes. You got it, girl. Awesome. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. Appreciate that. Awesome. You guys are doing good. Excellent. You're gonna have to keep holding it until the next person. Sorry, Melissa. You got it. You knew this was coming, Melissa. We had months to prep for this. You knew it was happening. Awesome. Okay, so MUD, right? It's a MUD. Whenever it comes to MUDs, it's makeup day. So patient is scheduled. Here's a quick test, Dahlia. I pick on the people in the back. You pick the perfect spot for me, right in my line of vision. The mic's going to Dahlia. Back it up. Back up the mic there, Dahlia. Here's the test. All right. I'm on 3 times a week. And I got a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I want to write this down too. Let's try it. I showed up to my Monday appointment, my Wednesday appointment, and my Friday appointment.
Okay.
That's week 1. Week 2, I showed up to my Monday appointment. I missed Wednesday, got stuck at work.
Mm-hmm.
I came in Thursday, and I made up Friday.
Okay.
Week 3, missed my Monday appointment. I had a long weekend. Missed my Wednesday appointment, but I came in Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
And my last week, I was on vacation the entire week and didn't pre-schedule any makeup days. The question is, how many makeup days or MUDs do I have?
You have 3 more.
Last week, I missed 3 last week.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you have 1.
1 more, right?
1 more.
Which
Correct.
equals
4.
You got it. Give a round of applause. Great job, Dahlia. Excellent. Okay, so what happens if a patient misses? They come in for the next appointment I reschedule them for. What happens to those visits that they miss if they don't make them up? They just what? Add them to the end of the plan, and then it turns a 3-month plan into a what? 3.5-month plan, a 4-month plan. It drags on the protocol. Let me ask one of the doctors in the room here, kind of pass that mic up here, Dahlia. If you have a 3-month plan, doc, for a patient, but they're just dragging it on, they're missing appointments, and it ends up being like 5 or 6 months to get the same amount of visits. Is your program have the same level of effectiveness if you drag it on for months versus getting it done intensively in the beginning?
No, it's not the same. You get better outcome if it's more intense as opposed to spreading it out
That's
for a
right.
longer period of time.
Exactly. So for all the non-doctors, all the CAs and front desk rock stars, if your patients are missing and we're just kind of tacking on those visits at the end of the program, and they just kind of drag it along, their results will suffer. The progress and care will suffer. And if a patient isn't making the progress they thought they would be making, what tends to happen with their retention?
They drop off.
They fall off, right? So that's why these makeup days are so, so important. Let's go ahead and pass the mic back to Jennifer for a second. Jennifer Baker in the house, office manager extraordinaire. Okay, so now we know that MUDs are important. MUDs, makeup days, are key to occur. So if a patient misses Wednesday, yeah, I can reconfirm them for their Friday appointment, but I got to get that extra one in on that Thursday or next week, right? How do we even track that? There's probably 1,000 different ways to track it, but how do I know if I look at any one of my patients who has how many MUDs? And I don't want to keep it all in my head because that's not going to work. If there are 150 patients, I'm not going to remember how many makeup days every patient has. I can do 72 clicks in Chiro Touch to count up their time, their visits every time they come in. But Dahlia, is that efficient? Clicking Chiro Touch around and counting up every single time that patient comes in for 150 patients? No. So how do I track these freaking makeup days so it's easy and simple? How do you guys do it?
So we have like kind of an Excel sheet that we keep track of for patients that do miss the appointments. And then we'll also put an alert in ChiroTouch for ourselves saying like, hey, they need to put one more on this week, or they need to schedule their exam because they have to missed one or something like that. So,
yep. Perfect. Okay, good. Awesome. Challenge you guys with the question here. Front desk. We run new patients. We talked about converting cash services. Now I'm going to challenge you the front desk question. Okay, you guys ready? Here's the question I want you guys to write down. This goes for any of your active patients. If I were to take any of your active patients, would you know within 10 seconds or less how many makeup days they have? Write that down in your notes. Ask that question to yourself. If you pick any patients on your active patient list and are to close your eyes and pick a random person, could you say it in less than 10 seconds how many makeup days they have? Yes, I know they can, because they have the spreadsheet that tells them, they keep it up to date all the time so they can see how many MUDs for each person, right? So I'm going to ask you, that question is an important one to answer. You have to know it at a glance, every morning huddle, every active patient on the schedule, how many makeup days does each person have? Because if you don't know that, how are you going to get your patients to make up visits? If they miss one, I got to get them to make it up that week. What happens when they don't? Because they often don't. And it goes into the next, you going to remember that up here? You got 100 active patients to keep track of. You're not going to remember, right? So it's important to have and maybe I'll have Jennifer, when we finish today, share a bit more detail about how you guys track that for the group. Because I think we're all kind of starving for something like that here in the room. But if you guys want to optimize your patient retention, patient scheduling, having a tracking system, if you guys are looking at implementables this weekend, what's your tracking system for makeup days? Big asterisk in your notes. What is my tracking system for MUDs for all my patients? So that if I have that system in place, I know I could glance at any one of our active patients, and within 5 seconds, I know how many makeup days they have. You want to go to answer. If you're a front desk rock star getting 90% patient compliance on scheduling or higher, you would know the answer to that question, have a system that tracks that. Super important. There's 1,000 different ways you can track that. I'm going to let a team with an 85+% show percentage share that with us later today. Good. They make it the progress exam, right? Progress exam is not so much even for the doctor. It's for the patient, right? They got to know progress they've made so far, right? How often do patients forget what they came in for in the first place once they've been on care long enough, right? Mm-hmm. This is your time to remind and educate. The process continues until you want to move them to their final progress exam. This can be done in the final piece of the puzzle here. I would highly recommend moving forward in your office with a really fun, enthusiastic grad protocol or a graduation protocol. Here's a couple steps you guys can do right away to have fun with it. Okay. Number one, and how you schedule this in your calendar in the time blocks is up to your office. I'm just going to give you the steps. You don't have to do it in this exact sequence. But one key bullet point, the doctor does the final progress exam and gives good, strong recommendations on wellness. Final exam, if you do x-rays, doing comparative x-rays. If not, just like any other progress exam, showing the progress the patient's made since the beginning. Give good, firm, recommendations. Dr. Gary has a great line, which works for this. He would say to the patient, Dahlia. So let's say to the patient, right? And so let me ask you a question. Now that you've finished your care program, you've done amazing so far on this program. If you were to continue getting adjusted and keeping everything in line, how often do you think you'd want to come in for? Every other week? Yeah. I think about the same thing. Every other week. Good. So moving forward, that's what I had recommended for you. We're going to be moving forward every other week for your wellness program to keep all the corrections aligned and make sure you're never having to worry about being in pain again. So he asked the question, what do you think? This is the doctors. Mm-hmm. If you were to continue getting care, how often do you think you'd come in? And 9 times out of 10, the patient will tell you your exact recommendations, right? Yes, Dr. Schwartz, go ahead.
Can you hear me on voice, or do I have to type?
Sure can. Yep.
Oh, cool. Technology, it's amazing. So question just for the doctors, and this is a clinical question. To me, and I'm not saying this is not about patient management, this is a clinical statement. MUDs don't make sense. If a patient initially started care with you and you started it 3 times a week because you think that it's clinically indicated that they need to be seen 3 times a week for their current condition, and they came in for a week or two and they stuck to their program, now they missed a visit or two as time is going on, do they actually need 4 visits next week clinically? Or is that just a function of practice management? And I'd love to hear from the doctors how they manage that particular question. I'm sorry about the phone. I'd really like their opinions.
Well, I'll hand the mic over to Dr. Chris first. You got a response to that, and then feel free, docs. I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but I want to get some answers to this. This is good. Chris.
Sure. So clinically, in the beginning, especially that 3 times a week is very important. And then squeezing in a 4th one if somebody misses for something is not necessarily the clinical portion, but it implies the importance of the care. Because we do the same thing with makeup day for somebody that's on wellness because they missed something or they're going to go on vacation. So we make sure that they preload for their vacation or if they're coming back right after that. So in terms of clinically, you've probably seen there's a huge difference between somebody that actually follows through and does 3 times a week for the 4 weeks and actually continues on, because at that 12th visit, when you see the x-ray, you see the progress. And then you also see the progress compared to if they're actually doing their home exercise. Like with us, we have protocol for home. So we know, 1, they've stuck to their plan, 2, they've done their home care or not. And then we can push them further as they go into the more of the corrective phase to show them where they're doing and what their dedication is and what they need to do to actually get there.
But then this is still about patient management more than it is about clinical management in your office. Okay.
In my office, it's still the clinical, because at the end of that 3 months, if they've made it up, they still get the very similar result. But if it's stretched out, as Ethan was saying, that it's become a 4-month or a 5-month process or 6-month, then the clinical result is not there. It's at the same like old school 1 adjustment a week kind of thing. Like you get the same kind of progress. But if you're doing like a corrective plan with focused protocol, you get a lot better difference if you squeeze everything in that 3-month plan, whether or not it's that they did 3 a week, 3 a week, and then 2, and then made it up as the 4th. You still get the same clinical result with that. But if in terms of like the practice management side of it and the patient management, you continuing to keep them on progress. So it's both clinical and the patient management. It's in my experience.
Okay. Thank you for your opinion. I appreciate it, Doc.
Perfect. And then one thing I've learned from a few other docs in the group is, even if you're not moving a patient to a 4-time, if that wasn't your protocol, at least tracking it so when they get to that first progress exam, where you would normally in the timeline end them off at 3 weeks, you'd end them on and move on to 2 weeks. You're keeping them on 3 weeks for a few more weeks in order to make up the appointments they missed in the beginning for optimized clinical results. That's what I've heard as well too. So either protocol I think works well, but great question. I appreciate I love the feedback, Dr. Schwartz and everybody else. Again, feel free to jump in with questions. I'll keep my eye on the chat as much as possible here. Awesome. Good deal. So with that being said, grad protocol. So here's a couple things. Number 1, if we go back into our notes here, hang tight with me, guys. I know it's hot in here. I know we're in Florida. We're almost there. Number 1, right? Good progress exam. Good firm recommendations to the doctor. Number 2, you got to do the warm and fuzzy. The warm and fuzzy is super important. That's the protocol step, warm and fuzzy. What's the warm and fuzzy? The warm and fuzzy is when the patient graduates from care. So what do? You announce it. Woo, right? It's fun. Look who finished and graduated from care. Susie kicked butt. Awesome. High five. Susie gets her certificate. Susie gets the t-shirt, right? Susie gets the big celebration. Susie gets to do the wellness bell. There is a doc in Florida, at Stuart, Florida. Dr. Bill Widener, I just saw on his Facebook page, Harbor Medical. He had a video of one of his older patients who just graduated from care. And she's there, and just the other day, and she's like ringing the bell, and she just like won't stop ringing it. Like she just freaking loves it, because she's like, it's about time. And he's like, get all of it that you can, and they give a big hug, right? So then another doctor, Dr. Wesley Johnson, up in the Panhandle, he goes all out. So this is crazy grad protocol. He has a cap and gown ready for all graduates, and they do not a ceremony, but also it's they do a soul train in the office. So all this staff, it's not the most efficient thing because everyone has to get off what they're doing and like do a soul train in the hallway. But I've seen videos from his Facebook, and like the patients are in their cap and gown and they're dancing. Everyone's in their scrubs and they're dancing on the soul train. Whatever you want to do. Make it a warm and fuzzy. Make it a fun thing. It's a high five. It's a congratulatory moment. You don't have to do cap and gown and it's whole, dog and pony show for it. But I do think it's important to make it an event for every patient that makes it to graduation. It's an accomplishment, right? And that warm and fuzzy is just going to build them more into your culture. And at which point, I highly suggest moving into a wellness club in your office. A wellness club. It's a month-to-month subscription you can do. You can do wellness programs. That's one option where they do month-to-month for a year, beyond once a month, or you can develop a wellness club, which is a moderate monthly fee. Not only just with the benefits of what that gets them in your office for one visit a month or whatever that might be, but add in some fun other perks that can go along with that. I have one office up in New York. They do a wellness club and they get one adjustment, one therapy for I think it's $79 a month, and they also get 10% discount on products in the office, and then that doc networks with other like small mom and pop kind of healthcare locations, so a massage therapist, a yoga studio, workout place, and they have discounts and deals where they can get exclusive pricing in the community for health and wellness services. So he's networked with like 5 or 6 different vendors, and so all you got to do is you got to flash your wellness card. They have a little almost like a PGC kind of plastic gift card. It's like part of the wellness club for Crossroads Chiropractic. And you can flash that at any of those vendors, and they get like half off a massage. Right? Or they get like 20% off at the health food store. All right. So it's like an additional perk that they did through community relationships to give more of a perk to keep people on a wellness club in the office. So ask yourself that question. What would a wellness club look like in your office? Again, great questions you can ask yourself when you're reviewing your notes. What would a wellness club look like in your office? Once the announcement is done, a case manager can go over for 5 minutes what the wellness club is and sign people up for wellness, or the front desk can go over that once they've got recommendations and the announcement is done. Great. As Doc recommended, once a month is going to be your program. We have our wellness club here. We'd love to get you started on that today. And this is what it looks like. And this is how to get started. The great news is your monthly payment goes down from $169 down to $79 a month as part of our wellness club. And it's month to month. Oh, great. Sounds great. You can go ahead and sign here and here, get you signed up and treated today, or treated for your next appointment. All right. So that's scheduled out, right? So a wellness club can be something that might be inexpensive perks that keep people on wellness over time. You can mingle with either the 7 division members in the room. They'll tell you about the wellness clubs that they have utilized in their practice. And that's going to be your transition to wellness there. So you can print this off and use this as a general protocol for your office for training and to make sure that you're following through on a good A to Z on the ascension into an advocate for patients in your office. All right, guys, let's go over your VFP, your purpose, and your stats as the front desk rock star. So Jennifer, go ahead and walk us through this here. This is, this in your sleep. You've gone through this backwards and forwards, up and down, VFP and stats for front desk.
The stats are patient visits and percent, like the show rate percentage. And then the VFP is doctor or the patients that are sticking to the doctor's recommended care plan and completing the treatment on time.
Give her a round of applause. Excellent work. All right. So front desk position is if you're whatever you're making now and you want to launch into your next step in the office, your next growth jump, it's mastering the front and hitting quota and goal more often than not on your patient visits. So let's pass the mic around. I want to pass it around, and I want you to tell me, because you guys are all front desk rock stars. You guys do your briefcase stats. You know what these are. Here's my question. For your office, what are your front desk goals each week for patient visits? What are the goals each week for patient visits? Let's pass it up first to Emily and Maria.
For total patient visits?
Total patient visits. What's the goal each week?
Average is like 180.
What's
Average
the goal? Average goal is 180.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, pass it down to Chris. Goal for patient visits each week?
Oh, for patient visits each week we have multiple.
Okay.
So we have like the current is to make sure we're hitting the continue to hit 160, and our goal is to hit 200. Within which one is it? It's by August.
Excellent. Perfect. Good. All right. Dahlia, goal for both locations for patient visits
185.
for both locations?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Sonia, patient visit goal
100.
100. Good. Doc, patient visit goal
200.
200. Good. Ladies, patient visit goal
200.
200.
200.
Is that your final answer?
Good.
Good. Okay. Good. All right. All right. Patient visit goal
260 to 280.
260 to 280. Excellent.
185.
There it is. Perfect. Good. And in unison, you all should know this. Melissa mentioned the percentage of kept appointments, right? Which is another key metric for your position. In unison, what is the optimal percentage that number should be? It's a blank percent or higher. So in unison on the count of three, what is that number? Is it 50%? Is it 60? What's the number in count of three? 1, 2, 3.
85.
Excellent. Good. 85, 90, right? So you should know that. It's like burned and branded into your brain. You should have an 85% or higher, 90% for Atlas.
Yep.
Right? 85% kept appointment show percentage. That's the goal. That means efficient scheduling, minimal missed appointments, minimal cancellations. Cancellations have makeup days right away. Patients are kept on track efficiently and on time to complete their program. All right, good. So the purpose of the front desk is to ensure a smooth, efficient patient flow and making sure that patients keep to their agreed upon treatment program that has been established between them, the provider, and or the doctor. Awesome. Good. Now we've set the parameters. We got to think with the end in mind and work it backwards. Okay, good. So here's a key thing too. Who here, raise your hand proudly if you've received a day 1 and day 2 in your office and you are on a care program in your practice. Raise them up proudly. Come on, Maria.
Oh, I mean, I'm not currently on a care plan, but of course I have goals.
What, 'cause you're too busy? Come on. Doc, how many times are doctors too busy to take care of themselves?
Oh,
How often?
ever. That's why I hired me.
That's right. Exactly. Perfect. Come on. Good. Okay. So if you are not regularly on a care program in your practice, how are you going to expect your patients to do the same thing? Right? You got to hold yourself accountable to what you're holding them accountable to. They will 110%. When they see you getting treated sometimes when like they're on their way out and the shift's over and you're going to squeeze in for your adjustment, you're going to do some traction, right? And do your rehab exercises, get adjustments. They go, oh, you do it too. You're like, yes, health and wellness, baby. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
They will see it and they will go, oh, I got to keep they practice what they preach here, right?
Mhm.
Every team member, especially front desk, needs to have gone through a day 1, day 2 as a patient, gotten imaging, and on a care program. I know it's more difficult than not trying to find ways to squeeze it in. I'm going to look towards leadership in your office to make sure that they are on the schedule and also that you're on the schedule too, and everybody else in your team. You guys need to be experiencing what you're asking your patients to do. It makes keeping patients accountable so much easier when you're doing it all the time. Super important. Chiropractic lifestyle. Key things, chiropractic education, right? Make sure you can give a lay lecture on chiropractic, right? On the front desk rockstar course, one of the main videos towards the end is learning how to do a chiropractic lay lecture. What's a lay lecture? How do you communicate chiropractic to a lay person in 2 minutes or less? Right, that's going to be a key thing. Make sure you can do a lay lecture, right? Ask people, oh, Maria, I noticed you're always kind of like grabbing your back there. Is your back okay?
No.
What's going on?
I just got this like whole back hip thing.
It's like kind of sciatic.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
You ever seen a chiropractor before?
Never.
Never. You know what a chiropractor does?
Not really. I've heard just mixed reviews.
You've probably seen them on TikTok a bunch too, right?
Yeah.
Right? All that yanking and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Actually, I work for a chiropractor and we see patients every day that suffer from sciatica pain.
Mm.
And it's interesting with chiropractic, usually what we find is, you're between the communication from your brain and nervous system and the rest of your body, your nervous system controls the vast majority of function, if not all of it, to every area of your body, including the inflammation process, which is probably what you have going on right now due to a misalignment or subluxation. We see patients all the time. All the chiropractor does is they just readjust your spine to help alleviate pressure off the nerve, lowering inflammation, and reducing your pain so you're not having to sit there sciatic all the time.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Let's go see a chiropractor together.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, there's your lay lecture in chiropractic. Simple, right? communicate it easily and simply and get excited about it with your office, right? So for each and every one of you, make sure you're educated and do your part, right? To learn how do I better communicate chiropractic? What are these bone models? What is the nervous system? What is the adjustment doing, right? Like what is bone placed on a nerve actually do to the function of the body and different parts of it, right? This is important for you as a CA and as a front desk rock star to fully to learn yourself. Last thing, next thing here, living the health and wellness lifestyle, right? If this is a habit in your office, no more big gulps at the front desk. For Georgie, she can have that here, but she can't have it at the front desk. No strawberry, macchiato things at the front desk, right? No potato chips, none of that. Don't bring your McDonald's into the break room when you come back in from the office, right? Why is that important? Live the lifestyle yourself. What does lifestyle include? Lifestyle includes what you eat, how much you sleep, right? Motion is lotion. How active do you stay, right? Getting adjusted. Good mental health, good energy, right? Making sure to invest in yourself, taking care of your well-being, your associations, or do you have toxic people in your life just bringing your whole freaking life down? Or do you have really positive people who are like adding to the value of who you are and you can do the same to them? These are all parts of living the chiropractic health and wellness lifestyle, right? These are important parts that will allow you to ultimately be the accountability partner for the patient. So your beingness, your hat, your personality that you wear at the front desk is you have great customer service. You're a great multitasker. You have a very positive demeanor with our patients. But first and foremost, right, Josh, you are the accountability partner. What does the accountability partner mean? So, Maria, just because the mic's sitting there. Yeah. What does accountability partner mean?
It means that you're somebody that keeps somebody accountable to their goals and what they want to see in their life by keeping them on their schedule.
Excellent. Perfect. And let's pass the mic down. What does it mean to have tough love for a patient? Tough love when they're not staying compliant to their program. You have care for them, but you got to give them some tough love to keep on track.
That's right. You always get on there and giving my little lecture why it's so important to continue coming for treatment and tell them that if they don't keep coming as a schedule, they're not going to get any better.
Lose the gains they've made. So I want you guys to write this down too. Okay, so for any one of your patients, back to the last question I asked you guys. Again, these are good audits to do on yourself to just make sure you're totally dialed in, everything at the front desk. We asked earlier, do I know how many makeup days each one of my patients have, right? At a glance in 10 seconds or less. If the answer is no, we got to create a tracker system for that, implement that so we know what that looks like. The second question, when you look at any one of your patients, can you name what their health goal is? What's their health goal for every single one of them in 10 seconds or less? Sean's on it because she did their day two. She knows.
No, I put
And a day one.
and
put in the chart notes. Yes, excellent. I love it. So Sean is on top of it. Well, now, Sean, sorry. I'm going to reward you with some more feedback here.
Okay.
So why are you taking the extra step to put their health goal in the chart notes? Like, what's the value of that for everybody else knowing what those are?
Even with Melissa at the front desk, who's not on the clinical side at all, traditionally, she can, ask how they're feeling. People who are on the clinical side, when we're getting their subjective, they don't have to be like, oh, how you feeling today? It's like very specific. How's your neck feeling today? Are you still having that pain, the numbness tingling down into your fingers? It's just more personalized for the patient.
Perfect. Excellent. Good. And then if they're falling off track, at any point in time, you can pull up their health goal and go, we got to get you back to doing that thing. Let's stay. I know you're busy. Let's get that visit made up. We got this time and this time, which works better for you. So super important. You are the accountability partner. All right. ARC, we covered this earlier. Your ability to have ARC know your patient's story. No, what's their story? What is the patient's story? It's their journey, right? Every good movie starts with a little bit of drama in the beginning, a problem to be solved, the process of solving it to a happy ending at the end. That's a story, right? What's your patient's story? What's their ruin they came in? What does their journey look like? And what's the end goal we're trying to get them to? Know your patient's story for another health goal for every single one of your patients and build affinity, reality, and communication around that. Okay, this one's going to be key. Most of y'all know this. It's okay. And it's okay. Don't worry. It's okay to guide, direct, and control your patients. That's totally fine. Oh, she knows. You're like always. Right? So what does that mean? If you feel uncomfortable with telling people what to do, because you kind of have to tell people what to do at the front desk with lots of, right, Melissa? You gotta tell them all the time. You know it. Yeah. They're like kids, like herding cats. Yeah, it is. Yeah. They're just big grown-up children.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And they kick and they scream and they make excuses and I don't wanna, right? They have their own way of saying that all the time, right? And you gotta what? You gotta keep them in line and keep them on chat, keep them on task. So remember this, guys. Here's your phrases you can use if you don't feel comfortable telling a patient what to do. If you're like, I don't want to be too direct, I don't want to be too forward. Oh, that's kind of mean. I don't want to say that, right? If you're all backed off and worried, so it's simple. It's okay. That's fine. I totally understand. You can just say, hey, Georgie, let's go ahead and get that visit made up that you missed on Wednesday for tomorrow at 2:00 at your normal time. Does that still work? Perfect. Excellent. Let's go ahead and on the count of 3, say it with me. Let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and take care of that payment. Let's go ahead and take care of your balance. Let's go ahead and have you go to room 3. The doctor's ready to see you. Let's go ahead and have you make up that visit that you missed last week. Let's go ahead and schedule your visits before you leave on vacation in a couple weeks to make those up. Let's go ahead and stop asking for permission of the patient to do something. You are in control. You control the schedule. You control their journey. You're controlling them from A to Z. If you don't like the word control, I'm sorry. I'll use a different word. That's a little triggering for you. Totally fine. Use the word guide. Or direct. You are directing the patient. You're guiding the schedule, right? You're directing all that. You're leading the patient through. You are the leader. They are following your lead. So a good leader, right? If you're trailblazing in the wilderness, a hike that has never been walked before, and you got a guide, they're going to walk you through this crazy adventure, right? I know Maria loves adventure, so I'm like, crazy adventure. You have a guide. He's like, I know these forests like the back of my hand. I'm going to take you through an adventure for the next 3 hours. Like, I'm down for that. I trust you. And he goes, do you want to go left or right? Or do you want to go that way? You're going to go, dude, it's not my job. You tell me where to go. I'll tell you, this happened exactly for us in Costa Rica last year. We took 7th Division out. Robin, I love you to death, Robin. She had her local friend who's a local to Costa Rica, great guy. He took us on this beautiful trail to a little beach area, had no one there, secluded beach. We got there, had a bunch of trails and spin-offs. On the way back, we had an hour and a half before, or about 2 hours before, an hour and a half before sundown. We had about 45 minutes hike back. And he was a great guy, but I think he was a little, had a little bit of the green stuff on the way back home because he started smelling a little bit. And I'm like, I don't know how to get back. And it's like maybe 15 of us. And all of a sudden my wife goes, was there grass on the trail on the way here? And like, no. Why is there grass on the trail on the way right now? And he goes, oh yeah. Did we take a left at the tree like 5 minutes ago? The big one? Like, we're all big ones. He's like, yeah, maybe I should. Oh shoot, where are we right now? No, like the sun's going to be down in a half an hour. Howling monkeys, have you ever been to Costa Rica before? They're already howling. I did not want to be in the dark in a jungle in Costa Rica on a trail. Was he controlling and being a good guide? No, he was like, this way maybe, this way, dude. Like, what way do we go? Did the left tree, we take the right left? And what did my wife do? Her and Chrissy Hatzenbeeler, Dr. Chrissy, they go, okay, we're done. We're in charge. Everyone follow us right this way. We're going this way and taking it right. Everyone back in line, single file. We're going this way. Oh, okay. Yep. Follow the leader. Here we go. Right. Were they trying to make sure we're okay with asking for permission if we wanted to go this way? No, we're going this way. And this is what we're doing. Okay. If you're a little upset, fine. I'll do it with a smile on my face. Here we go. We're going this way now. All right, here we go. And they guided us and we got back just before. I mean, I remember getting in the car with Dr. Brad and driving away. And it's like, I remember driving, it's dark outside. And like, we were stuck an extra 5 minutes. We would have been in a precarious situation. We had a good leader guiding, directing, and controlling. That's what your patients need. They want to have someone who's really nice, but that niceness is going to get that schedule screwed up, right? That niceness is going to get them off track on their program. So yes, be nice, be friendly, but also you got to be firm. If you're sick and tired of saying, let's go ahead and, you can also say your next step is, right? Okay, so your next step is to take care of your payment today. That's going to be $67. Your next step is to make up that missed appointment from last week. And we can do that today on Thursday or Friday, which works better for you. Your next step is to go to room 2. The doctor's going to be ready to see you, right? And then for those that have done our Ritz-Carlton experience training, do we point to the patient like this? Where to go? Or do we one more time with the hands, right? The Vanna Whites. Oh, come on, a little more passion, Sean. Like, come on. There it is. Yes. Your next step is to see the room, see the doctor in room 2, right? Big smile. And then boom, we guide them over there. We direct them. Super key. Also, when you guys are asking questions, right? You never want to ask, do you want to come in for your next appointment? Do you want to schedule your next appointment? Do you want to handle your payment today? You don't ask them. What do we do, Melissa? We give them how many options? 2. Do you want to take care of that payment with your card on file or a new card today? Do you want to do Thursday or Friday? You're like, I already got your card on account. We're using that one. That's right. I'm asking you. We're doing Thursday or Friday to make up that visit. Right? You're always giving them 2 options. And each of those options is the way you want to go. All right. So what we're going to do right now, 2 minutes, guys. We're going to partner up in 2s or 3s for 2 minutes. And I want you guys to just 5 times, both ways. Let's go ahead and give an action. Let's go ahead and give another action. Let's go 5 times. And then you're going to do 5 times. Your next step is take care of that payment. Your next step is schedule your appointment. Your next step is make up that visit. And then 2 times, you're going to schedule the person using the Thursday or Friday, Monday or Tuesday, earlier in the day, later in the day, 2 or 3 o'clock. Give them the 2 option questions 5 times each way. Let's go ahead and your next step is, and 2 times with the double question option. Let's go ahead and partner up in 2s or 3s. 2 minutes of practice all the way around. Excellent. Galia, pop over here. Okay, let's wrap it up. Okay, good deal. All right. Let's keep it open for now to get some airflow in here. Yep. All right, let's wrap it up. Good job. Excellent. Perfect. All right, so let's test it out here. Wilson Chiropractic, Lubbock, Texas. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Calling Wilson Chiropractic. Dr. Jennifer Wilson, unmute yourself. Test, test. Dr. Jen Wilson. Let's see if I can make sure this works here. There we go. I can hear you loud and clear. Tell me to do something in the room. Just tell me to do anything with let's go ahead and or your next step is. One of the 2. Any one of you guys in the room, give me some sort of direction to do something using that phraseology. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and put you on the table today so we can get you hooked up.
Good. Give them a round of applause. Good job. Excellent. All right. I'll let you guys go ahead back on mute there. Good work. And Amy. Hey. All right. Give me another direction and you or your team member saying your next step is.
Yeah. Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I just came into the room.
Oh, no problem. Give me your next step is, or let's go ahead and give me a direction as if I was a patient.
Oh, let's go ahead and get your next appointment scheduled. Your treatment plan is twice a week.
Excellent. Good. Perfect. Give them a round of applause. Thank you, Amy. All right. Good deal. So let's move on to the next point. Body language, front desk rock star, right? Practice our smile. Curly white. There you go. Excellent. Good. Doc? There it is. Excellent. Good. Still waiting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Got it. Good. All right. Use those pearly whites. Those are super important. We all know that. Eye contact's key, right? Eyes, eyes, eyes. That's a little inside joke with me and Maria. You know, eye contact is key. Eyes, right? Open hand gestures like we covered earlier. Boom. Right this way. Right this way. Boom. Right. Super key. This is always have, at the front desk, you have one of the most difficult jobs in the company from the standpoint of how much you have to handle at once. Yeah. You are spinning lots of plates all the time from beginning to end of shift. So here's your Here's your demeanor you have to have. You got to have busy. You have to be like a duck, right? When you see a duck on top of the water, right? What does the appearance look like when the duck's just on the water? Just sitting there and he's just gliding. But Emily, what's his little feet doing? So it's busy under the water, but the patients, they don't see you busy. The patients don't see you scattered and stressed out and your hair is all over the place and you have big bags under your eyes like, God save me, please, I can't do it anymore. Right? You could be telling that to yourself on the bottom. That's fine. You guys did, right? George, you had those days, right?
Yeah.
You're just like mid-shift. You're just like, good Lord. There's been 3 fires I've had to put out, plus the phone's been ringing off the hook and the lineup of patients. You got one pissed off patient over here and one thing over there. It's just all over the place. So you got to be busy on bottom, solving the problems under the water. But you got to your patients, look like you're what? Gliding like a duck.
Yeah.
That is your key, right? It's keep. A friend of mine mentioned to me, he goes, that's called emotional professionalism. Emotional professionalism, right? Being emotionally unprofessional would be just because you feel like you're freaking out, that means you have to freak out. Right? We don't want to do that, right? Right, Dahlia? So how does it come across the patient if you're having a stressful day and you're showing that you're having a stressful day?
You feel like they're being a
Yes. They will be the ones going, oh, I don't want to stress. Oh, I'm sorry. And they don't want to be a burden to you, which the whole reason why you're there is for them. Right? So that's key. Emotional professionalism, busy on bottom, gliding on top. And then your speed of speech. I'm terrible at this. I'm a very fast talker, right? But I'm at the front desk. You guys are. So at the front desk, you got to make sure that there's times you need to slow down with the patient and go over their insurance one more time. And with patience and love and guidance, a hard of hearing patient, a patient that's slower, you have 6 things happening and you have the phone, you got to slow right down to that patient and make sure that 20 seconds with them counts versus having to repeat yourself over and over again for 3 minutes. So your speed of speech is important as well. These are going to be key here. Awesome. Great book, by the way. If you guys never read it, I highly suggest it, by Joey Coleman. Never Lose a Customer Again. Great read for all of you guys. It's a great read for all of you guys. Now, again, don't worry. You have all these slides already. You don't got to take a picture. You're good. It's in the link. This is a great book, but he says there are many reasons why customers leave, but the main reason is that businesses systematically ignore the emotional journey of the customer. And that's the key for you. That's why I'm emphasizing know their story, know their ruin, know their health goal, because it's an emotional journey for the patient more than anything else sometimes with chiropractic care and with healthcare. So that's super important. Right? So I covered this a bit earlier. They need to hear their name when they walk in. They need to see their name when they first walk in. How do they see their name, Emily, when a new patient first walks in the first 5 seconds? Yes, the welcome board, she said. Perfect. Georgie, what's the welcome board?
It's part of the 5-star experience, and it's just either a little whiteboard or a little sign that you write their name, like welcome, new patient name.
Yep.
Yeah, just sitting at the front desk.
And of course, for HIPAA, we want to put their first and last name, right?
Nope.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, there you go. Good. Just first name.
Definitely.
Coffee, water, tea. We covered that. Is the space 5-star? Oh, yes, sir.
I've seen patients that are uncomfortable with that. So how do you address that?
Good question.
Comfortable with
They're uncomfortable with their name being on the board. The new patient.
Then we wipe it off as soon as they tell us that they're uncomfortable. Yeah.
Have you found that to be the majority of patients, or the very minority with your office?
We haven't run into that. No. People are like, "Oh, cool, that's nice." Yeah.
But do you get information first before you put it on there, or
this is a welcome board for the new patients.
Yeah.
So we haven't met with them, or it's more like a little surprise, like, "Hey," we're like, "Hi, Melissa," and they come up to our front desk lady and there's a name and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." And then we wipe it off. We have new patients coming in quite soon after each other. So we wipe it off, put the next person's name on pretty shortly, but they're like, "Oh, cool. That's nice." They feel just touched if they don't make a comment about it. You can kind of see them notice and be like, "Oh, wow, that's cool." So I haven't run into an issue with it.
Awesome. Yeah. Beautiful. Love it. Great. Good. 5-star office tour. Again, wellness board where the restroom's at. They got to see people right? They got to see people getting care in your office, right? So that's super important. You want to have social proof as this is the first 5 minutes they're in your office. They're unconsciously, they're looking around, right? They're starting, do I see people like me in here getting care, right? You want to see lots of people. Do you guys ever want to walk in and stay at an empty restaurant? No, it feels awkward, right? What about a busy restaurant?
Yeah.
Right. White noise, lots of people. It took you 15 minutes to get to your reservation, right? Busy, it's a hopping spot. That's your office needs to feel like. You want to make sure they can see that in that tour as well. All right, good. So yes, Maria.
5-star office tour. So we haven't really been doing a 5-star office tour. Typically, if they get like a bodywork package before their day one, then they'll see the office. But what do you guys usually incorporate in that?
Excellent question. I have a few things I can name, but I'll let you the mic pass around here for best practice.
Sure. So it would depend on what's in your practice and all, but you're going to have them come in and it's the patient educator that's doing the tour for us. So it'd be, you've already met Tony at the front desk. You'll see her every day you come in. And then over here, we have our warm-up area. This is where you're going to prepare for your adjustments. So it's the most comfortable and it feels great. And then across over here, this is our adjusting bays. And then if you come down here, this is more of our therapy area. You can see our decompression table and this, and the knee traction on the other side. This is the doctor's credentials wall. So this is the extra it's all the extra training they've had post-graduation from chiropractic school. And then this on this side, this is all some of our testimonials up and down, just so you can get an idea of the different conditions we treat. Here on the right, that's your massage area. Then right next to that over here, that is the bathroom. And then you'll follow me in here into the x-ray room.
There we go. Perfect.
And so it just kind of depends on whatever your office is, but you just kind of do a nice tour of the office and trying to highlight the important parts. And like we're missing the what'd you call it, the wellness wall?
Yeah, you have your testimonials up there, right? The health and wellness warriors.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome. Anything you missed, Sean, that you guys do in your office tour?
No.
Got it. Good. Perfect. Any other key bullets you guys do well? Office tours?
We try to, everybody kind of knows like when a new patient's doing a tour or whatever, but for the most part, everybody is like visible to each other. So all the treatment rooms are open, that type of stuff. So we all kind of try, even though we're still all doing everything. Like if, one of our case managers like, hey, this is Georgie and I'm busy with the patient or whatever, I'll maybe pop my head out of the curtain, like where they're behind and be like just quick wave. We all just try and like at least interact with them instead of just like hear them pointing, talking about us and just like straight look at whatever we're doing. We just like interact with them a little bit, even if it's a smile or wave.
That's great. I love that. That's good. Everyone has like port awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good. Great question, Maria. Cool. Okay. So now for whatever reason, the new patient or the day two doesn't show up, right? So obviously the call within 5 minutes, text them immediately, right? If are you on, okay, we have your appointment blocked out. Are you on your way? Then this is kind of your funnel here. We want to repeat that throughout the week. So if a day one or day two doesn't make it into the office, they missed their appointment, that happens immediately. You want to repeat throughout the week, just a text and a couple phone calls. And then again, plug them into some kind of drip campaign, like I was mentioning this morning, right? That can be handled by your marketing department or your production manager or the practice owner, but get that lead into some kind of drip that keeps them connected to the office. And then just have an active follow-up system in place, whether it's a case manager or the front desk, occasionally checking in on that patient, make sure they're doing fine and that you guys are still available to service them. And you'll be able to catch some of those down the line too if they miss. But just a couple key, real simple protocols here you can keep in place. Yes.
Just for other people who do like lead calls and that type of stuff, if the first time you call them, even if they've given you like the stress survey lead information and they're like, actually, I'm not interested at all. Like, I'm good. Thank you. Do you continue to pursue that person, like put them in the campaign, that type of stuff? Like, how do you call them again, like per se next week or next month? And like, what do you do if somebody's immediately off the bat and like, no, I'm not interested?
Yeah. So I'll let you guys give some feedback too, but that's, if it's no, it's not, this means not for now. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if they told me I'm not interested, I'm fine. It's like, cool, I can make a note of that. I'm not going to call them back actively. But if they are in our system and they're in an active campaign, I'm just going to keep them in the campaign. They might be getting educational emails or an occasional text, and unless they want to be asked off of that too. But I'm definitely not going to call them back if I just establish that. But I'm going to keep them active.
do you disclose to them when they're giving their email and phone number, like they're going to be getting like repeat emails, that type of stuff? Because like, do you say that in the beginning, like, oh, we're just going to put you in, or do you just kind of take in and like send them the emails and text messages later?
Good question. Good question. Melissa, Chris on that one?
We just send them the stuff and they opt out of the text messages if they don't want.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Good. I like it. Excellent. This is a simple dialogue you guys can keep with. It's all in the front desk course. But hi, Sally. It's Ethan here from ABC Wellness. Looks like we need to schedule a better time for your day one appointment to see Dr. Smith. We have this time or this time available, which works better for you, right? So just keep it simple, easy, and reschedule that new patient using that script. All right. So this one's key, right? So now this is going to be establishing your role as the accountability partner for the patient at the end of day 2. This isn't always feasible with the flow for every office, but if it is feasible, it's a really big feather in your cap for you at the patient if you can do this. So ideally, once the patient has said yes to care in the room, like, yep, payments are taken care of by the case manager. If the case manager did the scheduling in the back, great. If they didn't, then they would do that at the front desk next. But you want to make sure, if you can, that case manager bring in that new patient to the front, like handing them off to the front desk, right? If they haven't gotten treated yet, or if the doctor does on the way out. So it could be from the case manager to the front desk or from the doctor who finished treating them to the front desk. Now you want to pass the baton and position the front desk as the accountability partner, either the person, the case manager who has a relationship with that new patient, or the doctor who just treated them and did the exam. Now, Melissa, why is it so important for you to have another authority at least introduce you and position you as this person versus you kind of being on an island having to do it yourself?
Because we literally have no interaction with this person besides when they first came in. So it's important for them for me to incorporate myself in with that patient and understand what's going on with them. And I am also, someone that you should talk to all the time because I will be seeing you a lot more now.
Exactly. It's a good point. So leaders create more leaders. Leaders edify leaders. So case managers and doctors, for that patient, you're a leader. You have to transfer that leadership to the front desk. You got to position another leader in the office. Otherwise, it's just going to be another person to that patient, right? So you carry the authority at the end of that day too. So make sure it gets passed to the front. So it sounds something like this. Let's say it's Melissa. Oh, that's Chris. Yep, go ahead.
You go ahead. I just had a quick question about that.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay, I'm going to go over the script and we can get to them here in a second. So case manager goes, okay, Betty, I want to introduce you to our front desk rock star, Melissa. So Melissa is going to be your accountability partner throughout the duration of the program to help keep you on track with all of your scheduling. Can't wait to get you out of pain and back to playing with your grandkids and seeing you climb that mountain you're talking about. Awesome. Great to meet you, Betty. Over to you, Melissa. Cool. Melissa could say, oh my gosh, congratulations. Okay, so as Ethan mentioned, the doctor will be having you come in 3 times a week the next 8 weeks. And then they'll be doing a reevaluation, see how often we're going to be coming in from there. That being said, I'll be your accountability partner from here on out. Now, what that means, Chris, if you miss an appointment and the phone rings or your textings, that's me on the other line trying to reschedule your appointment and keep you on track. So be sure to have your next appointment time ready. As part of your journey, getting out of lower back pain and getting back to playing with your grandkids, it's going to be hard work, Chris, and a lot of consistency. So if you miss a visit for any reason, the doctor requires that you make that visit up in the same week or the following week at latest. So Chris, it might sound silly, but I'm going to be your crazy ex-girlfriend, right? And if you don't show up on the appointment, I'll be calling and reaching out to you. Again, we're so happy to have you get started on your progress. This is how the reminder protocol will work. And the worst case scenarios, if you can't make it in, you can always give me a call. And so on and so forth. Remind them of their appointments, get them checked out, and hand them their appointment calendar. So again, this is a very simple, paraphrased, improvised conversation that you're having with that patient once you've been passed by the case manager or the doctor. In that way, this already establishes your role with their journey, your role in their journey of getting better, as well as it puts in place the makeup day protocol too. So they know from the beginning what's expected. They've heard it from multiple people. And it's a heck of a lot easier to follow through with something in the beginning versus trying to implement it later when they're already into care. Let's go ahead and pass that mic up to Dr. Chris for a second.
Yeah, my question was, we actually don't have the patient educator fill out the calendar. We have the front desk do it for time issues.
Yep.
Is that fine, or is
totally fine? Yep, totally fine. Either way, however it rolls. Some offices find it easier that they just do it in the back, but that's the case for you guys and it works. That's the flow. Totally fine too. Yep. Awesome. Good. Okay. So there is a brief overview. I'm going to flip these. If you guys want, you can take a picture of this. I'm going to have you guys practice this handoff. So we're all comfortable with giving the patient the accountability script. So I'm going to go patient, case manager, front desk. Patient, case manager, front desk.
I'm curious to see how that works.
I know, it's funny, right? Yeah. I'm going to go, let's do this. Let's go patient, case manager, front desk. Okay. Patient, case manager, front desk. Patient,
You do that, dude.
case manager, front desk. Okay, good. All right, we got 3 slides here, guys. Case manager, this is your script right here. Take a picture of that.
Oh, and what's it playing there? Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm going to move the slides here. Here's the front desk script now.
You are patient number 1. Go ahead.
Okay, there you go. And then next slide. All right. Next slide, last one. Take a picture if you need to. That's your script. All right, good. You guys got it? Okay, all right, guys, let's practice. So 5 minutes, all the way through. Case manager, front desk, patients. Let's go ahead and begin. All right, so next one here, guys. I want to get you guys out of here on this break on time. This one's key. You got a GSD, the MUDs. GSD, the MUDs. That means you got to get shit done with the makeup days.
Yes.
Right? When you're a busy office, there's never time to do recalls. If you're a busy office, you got the phones are ringing, things to handle. There's never time, right, Dahlia? There's what do you want to do by recall list? Never. It's someone's so busy. How many times have you heard that as an excuse in your front desk? I'm too busy to do recalls. Quite a few times, right? So on the top of your list, if you want to have an 85% plus show percentage and hitting goal, 90%, sorry, Melissa, excuse me, 90%, and you want to be hitting goal every week, the most important part of your day, top of the list needs to be makeup days and recalls. That recall list has to get done as the number one thing, no matter how busy you are. It is not the thing you do when you have time. It is the most important thing. The most important. So here's what you want to do. Here's your habit. You review the schedule for the day before you go home. Front desk, if you want to plan something, you plan the night before. Review it before you leave. What are you doing? You're looking for what the schedule looks like tomorrow, so you're prepped for your morning huddle. You're also looking to see who has makeup days that's going to be coming into the office. You prep for your huddle for the next morning. Now, if you have your list, you can print off your list of patients. You take a pen, you check your list, and you go, John, 0 makeup days. Jill, she's fine. Sean, got 3. The hell? Chris has got 2, right? Georgie's got 1. Sonia, 0. Okay. Emily's at 0. She's fine. Oh, but then Sandra's got 2. And I'm going through and I'm writing down on my list, who do I need to talk to about makeup days in the morning huddle before I leave for the night? So I want to bring that to the morning huddle. So here's a simple protocol you guys can use to prep getting these makeup days done. Patients that have 2 or fewer makeup days, the front desk schedules. That's easy. If they have 2 or fewer, you just schedule yourself at the front desk when they check in or check out. Patients with 3 or more makeup days, bring the names and the amount to the huddle. So I got Sean's got 3 makeup days. So I'm going to bring her name to the huddle. Sorry, Sean. So I'm going to say, okay, hey docs, these are our makeup days today, the 3 or more. So I got Sean, who's got 3 makeup days, and she's going to be in at 2:00 today. Communicate to the doctor how many makeup days, and then the doctor needs to readjust visit frequency and communicate to the patient table side. So if I'm on twice a week, Dr. Chris is going to go, okay, let's go ahead and turn over. Now, Sean, Ethan mentioned to me you got a couple makeup days to make up here. We're a little bit far behind on the program. So right now you're on twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday. As you check out, I want you to see Ethan at the front. We're going to get you back on 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks just to catch you up, okay? Let's add a Monday in or a Wednesday so you can keep it back on track. So the doctor tells the patient we're changing the frequency for the amount of weeks that's needed to get the person back on track. And what does the front desk do? They schedule them for those visits, right? And that way everyone's on track. So you have a tracker system we use, and you're making sure every morning to see how many makeup days have to get done. Doctors to readjust the visit frequency, communicate to the patient table side. Doctor pass the baton to the front desk to schedule the makeup days. Now, Jennifer, when you guys have a patient that's been, it's a nutty patient, right? They've been really falling off track. They've been got a lot of makeup days and they're pushing back to the front desk. You guys have a very specific phrase at Atlas Chiropractic you guys use, which Dr. Drew has to do what?
We have them as woodshed in ours. Just
So the word she uses is woodshed.
woodshed.
So there's a woodshed protocol. You're like, what the hell is what is a woodshed? Right?
Like if you're in trouble, you go out back and get hit behind the woodshed like it's
That's right.
kids. So we just do that because that indicates to the doctor they've missed 3 appointments or more, and then they have to be a little more firmer with them and, kind of commit them to the plan.
Yes. So it's the woodshed protocol. That means, okay, today, doc, I need you to go take that patient back upside of the woodshed and give them a little smack when they're there, for their adjustment to get them back on track. Right. So it's the woodshed protocol. That's a key one. All right. Perfect. Good. So I think if you took anything from this session, just implement the woodshed protocol and get your doctors on board with ensuring that they're helping you to have, again, that conversation, Jennifer, is typically how long, Dr. Drew? He's got to have a little 1-2 with them. Yeah, man, if it's not going to be long.
Like it's when he's adjusting, like at the normal treatment, like, hey, you've missed, yeah. So he just like has a not casual, but a firmer conversation, 30 seconds, less than a minute, get recommitted to them and then get the treatment.
Excellent.
So it's not like they're going to a special room and sitting down. It's like he's doing it in the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got, it's right. He's got your head in his hands, Yeah. You're making them up, right? Yeah. Good. So guys, write that on your notes for yourself. The woodshed protocol. Have a little bookmark in your notes there. The woodshed protocol. Make sure that you look back at that. How am I going to have the doctor take that patient upside the back of the woodshed, smack them, get them back on track with their program, and make sure that's the case. Any patients that fear more MUDs. These are some accountability partner scripts you can use. These are just obviously recall scripts that most of you guys know all too well. Your front desk course, fortunes in the follow-up, calls, texts, emails. I highly suggest companies like ReviewWave, Zingit, or Doctable to use for automated texting, for campaigns in your office. They work well with many EHRs, and to keep the follow-up going with patients at drop-off care, don't have any future appointments or things like that. Yes.
Switch over to TrackStat from ReviewWave.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
TrackStat is great. You know who started TrackStat? That is a former TBA and 7th Division client, Dr. Noda Hashimoto.
Oh.
He's been a TBA legend for many years. Yeah. So we're definitely supportive of what he's doing, and it's a great system because you have your stats.
Yeah.
And you have all the automations with all the text and that kind of stuff too, which is great. And it's integrated within your EHR, right?
Yeah.
It is. That's awesome. Love that. Good. Remember, guys, reports are your friend. So whether you're using TrackStat or you're using ReviewWave or you're using ChiroTouch or you're using your EHR, right? Get curious about the reports that you have to ask. I used to have a good handle on ChiroTouch, but they update things all the time. So these things change. But are you looking at your no future appointment reports? Are you pulling reports for who is the patient that their last appointment was 30, 60, 90 days ago, right? Are you pulling reports on your new patient in tracker on your briefcase? This is a super important one, right? New patient tracker, right? Patients that came in for day 1, didn't come in for day 2, rescheduled. These are really good reports to be pulling every week, right? And having that recall list updated and knowing how you're tackling each of these, right? So you have a tracker on who's falling off, who doesn't have a future appointment, how long's it been, where did they go? These are key, and you can meet on these every week too as part of your front desk huddle. All right, we went over this already, transitioning from patients. So Dr. Smith went over, we're moving forward, transitioning over onto a wellness plan, a wellness club, which means you'll be coming in once or twice per month. Good thing is, this is taking braces off, and now we're putting on a retainer to maintain your progress that you made with us so far. Right? So again, more scripting here you guys can review later. It's all part of your front desk course as well. This is key too, guys. Make sure every front desk rockstar fills out their what?
Daily huddle.
Daily huddle sheet. This is something you guys use every day for, how long have you guys used this thing for, Jennifer?
Since 5 years, at least 5 years.
Yeah. And what does this huddle sheet do for the front desk and the rest of the team?
So it has like the stats on there and what the goals for the week are, where we're at for the week, what the goals for the day are, what's pre-scheduled kind of for that day, and then also special visits and things that were happening that day.
Beautiful. Excellent. Good. You guys doing the morning huddle, front desk huddle sheet? Awesome. Huddle sheet, right? It's in place. Dialed in. Good job. Awesome. Ladies, huddle sheets. Do you guys do the huddle sheet each morning?
No.
Oh, good. All right, let's take a list of that one. Good. Georgie, huddle sheet done? Oh my gosh, huddle sheet, huddle sheet, huddle sheet. You can find this in the toolbox on the website. You can also go to this website. Also, it's Canva template for you right here. Awesome, good. And then the weekly performance sheet. These are key too. So this gets filled out at the end of the week, and you meet on that with your key office manager to make sure you're on target for goals. Front desk performance sheet, also on the TBA website and the toolbox. Awesome. What you're going to see here, I provided these for you guys as well. Our time is cut short, and I want to make sure you have a chance to get a good break here. But if you guys review these slides, you're going to see all kinds of objection handles that you're going to hear along the way. This is a good one too. They don't want to do the multiple appointment scheduling. Pretty simple. Listen, Maria, I totally understand life gets busy. You want to go home and to get your calendar. I want to tentatively put you in for now because it is so much easier changing and moving your appointments once they're already preset versus trying to squeeze you in later. Let's go ahead and get some tentative times in place on the schedule right now, right? Like key script you guys can use to get multiple appointment scheduling in place. Right? You got here it is. Oh, I put it in my slideshow.
You did it.
I did it. There it is. Take the patient to the woodshed. I knew it was in here somewhere. I was trying to wait when it was going to pop up. That's their doctor. That's their protocol. Anyways, so this is going to be key, as I described already too. Perfect. Good. And then guys, I can't emphasize enough, get your booty through the front desk rockstar certification, right? Show of hands proudly. Who here has gotten through their front desk courses? Great job, guys. Awesome. Good. Anybody else that has not yet, you can cross train in it if you're not, this isn't your primary role. And make sure it's on all office managers. It should be on onboarding for every new team member in your office. So that's the front desk course. Also, front desk rockstar virtual mentorship sessions. Georgie over here just hosted our last one last Tuesday. You saw her face right there on the bottom. Her and Tiffany had a chance to host our Zoom sessions. So guys, write this down. Every third Tuesday, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. Every third Tuesday, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. Let's say it one more time. I'm only repeating because I'll say it, then people still ask me afterwards. 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern, every third Tuesday of the month. We do a front desk rockstar mastermind on Zoom live. The recordings are on the website, but the recordings, it's not the same. You have to be there in person. Otherwise, it's a really boring recording. If you're not there in person, engaging with each other, it sounds like there's a bunch of people talking when you listen to the recording. You got to just be there live if you can. So those are, again, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. Every third Tuesday, we have front desk rock stars from around the country pop in. We talk about best practices. We help answer questions. We troubleshoot problems and issues. We'll have guest hosts like Georgie and Tiffany around last week. Michaela will pop on every once in a while too. This is Michaela Quinn. She's a regional manager, runs 6 offices. They say 2,000 patient visits a year, a quarter, a month. They see 2,000 patient visits a week. 7 doctors, 6 offices, 6 locations. Yeah. But still managing the schedules of 6 offices with 7 doctors and 2,000 patients a week is quite a bit. She has mastered this. So she'll see her, she's on maternity right now. She'll be back in about a month or so, or 2 months. But you'll see her on the Zooms again. She is, Georgie, how awesome is Michaela? She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, amazing.
You see, I put her on the front desk certification videos for a reason, because she knows what she's doing. And if you haven't done your front desk rockstar course, you'll be guided by her. So with that being said, these protocols and tools I think we all can use. And again, keep the conversation going today. If the first segment's going to fill up the schedule with new patients, the second segment's going to get them closer to yes. The third segment is going to get them all the way ascending through their care program to graduation and becoming advocates for your office. Okay, front desk rock stars, on the count of 3, you guys ready to do this? Yes or yes? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a great break, guys. And we'll see you guys back in 23 minutes at 4 o'clock for our final segment. 23 minutes. Round of applause. Dahlia, across the board. Good work.